Hello, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Wednesday again, so it's time for the Topherspin Meteorites Hangout, and it is November 18th. Thank you, Cameron. We don't really have any major plans today, to be quite honest with you. It's just going to be a ad hoc hangout. I have a few things I want to show off. Got some interesting news about like the sale that I had this weekend, so thanks all for attending that. And we have a check-in from Marco, and his name is Gaisser. I went to a German dictionary to find out how to pronounce it, and it said Geezer. So I've been calling him Geezer on the Hangouts, and he says, I'm not that old, I'm a guy, it's Gaisser. So he is checking in from Germany and going to show us some more oriented meteorites. He has 3 that he show us today. I've already watched the video, and there's some eye candy in there for us, for sure. So if anyone has anything to show off, I would love for you to raise your hand and let me know. I have a few things that I can show. I do have some very interesting news because I have a lot of fans in Australia, my Aussie mates. I am making a play right now for the main mass of my brand new classified odd numbered golden palisade, NWA 13579. A very high profile American collector has shown more than interest in it, and we are negotiating right now for pieces in his collection, for this piece from my collection. What is really unique and special about this is, besides just the high profileness of the collector, this collector has I don't want to say the world, but in private hands, probably I'm very confident saying he has the widest array of pallasites that you can see offered. Everything from like rare things with 33-gram total weight, stuff not even on the Met Bowl, big slices of the UK, was it Hambleton or something like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hamilton. Eagle Station, I mean, Fukang, Escal, and then stuff like 100 and something gram piece of Thiel Mountain from Antarctica. Just some crazy, crazy stuff. So the good news for my fans and my clients is he's not trading any pallasites, unfortunately. He wants my palisade. But he is letting me get my hands on some hard to get on Australians. So I'm going to have some chondrites from Australia, hopefully to offer soon, that have impeccable provenance. And so that should make some of my Australian mates pretty happy. I got a little something. I see no hands are up. So I got something in the mail the other day, and let me switch to this camera real quick. And I'm going sideways today. This is actually a piece from the Walton collection. So this is I got it from Jensen Meteorites. So this is a Vaca Muerta. It's about a 53-gram piece. And it's pretty nice because we're into labels and museum stuff. So this actually has a catalog number and a weight. Wow, I got to focus my camera. There it is. That's centered in the camera. So it actually has a specimen number and a weight, which is really cool because you can go to the catalog of the collection and take a look at this piece and know that it's there. But this is a Vaca Muerta. Mm-hmm. Wow. With the, yeah, that's what you want to see, those numbers together. Very weathered. It's definitely not the prettiest piece of Vaca Muerta that I've seen. Now it's a Meteorite. And is it from Argentina? No, Chile, right? Someone help me. Vaca Muerta is Chilean, yeah. So this is a really weathered older sample because it's been in a collection, but it's still an interesting mesosiderite. You don't see a whole lot of metal in it, but you do see the veining.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my new private collection mesosiderite. Finally, I got one with a number, with a label on it. So I feel like I'm part of the crew now.
So, Topher, just a thing I've heard, you shouldn't be keeping meteorites in plastic bags. It tends to rust.
Yeah, I agree with you. I literally just got it within the last 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was probably the second longest I've looked at it, and not by much. Yeah. I've been pretty busy, to be honest with you guys. I've been keeping pretty busy with meteorites and trying to get everyone's orders out and stuff. So my collection usually takes the back seat to getting orders out. But I have some interesting news because I definitely want this channel and these hangouts to be full of meteoritic news, breaking news that you can't get anywhere else, and breaking news that pretty much no one else cares about. So, I mean, sorry, but we got to keep it real. I mean, we are doing some really important things in our own heads. I have I don't know where to put it now. I have a new mesosiderite that I want to show off, and I've lost it, but I'll find it. It's a brand new mesosiderite that's just getting classified, and it's going through the actual the classification process. It's already done with the classification. It's now been submitted and given provisional approval. So let me pause this real quick. All right, so this is what I'm looking at and talking about right now. And I'm hoping that it's something special. I know it's something special, but I hope it's something extremely valuable. Let me, I know you guys don't want to look at me, so let me put the camera on this beautiful mesosiderite, and I'll tell you a little bit of the history behind it. The unfortunate history, but the history. So this is, let me see if that lighting, there we go. This is a main mass to a newly classified but not approved NWA 13532.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mesosiderite, but what is absolutely interesting, and I'm going to say a scientific word, unique about this mesosiderite, this is the only one, hopefully, that will be given the classification mesosiderite B2/3. There are none.
Yeah.
This has both lithographies of B2 and B3. Excuse me. So there are currently, I took some notes, there are currently only 7 mesosiderite B2s, only 7. And there's only 1 B3. This would be the first one of 1 B2/3.
Mm.
So the kind of unfortunate but fortunate story behind this is this belonged to, and the classification will be under our friend's name, Chris Colvin. Chris is an amateur astronomer and dedicated family man and meteorite lover. He bought the 111 grams or thereabouts stone and got it cut for classification. And after sending it in for classification, they realized it was going to be something a little bit special. Hopefully I'm spotlighting right now. They realized there's gonna be something special, so they did subtyping. So not just I've used the analogy before. We know it's a pickup truck. We know it's a Mesosiderite, but now we need to know what type of pickup truck it is. So it's a Mesosiderite B2/3. And that's done by subtyping, extra testing. I'm pretty excited about it because I now have the main mass. It's unfortunate for Chris because I had to help him out of a little jam, and he didn't probably want to sell it as much as I wanted to buy it. I'll put it that way. So when the classification was then provisionally approved today, he begrudgingly contacted me to congratulate me. But in all honesty, congratulations to Chris. This is his third classification now. So he has a very rare 1 of 1 Mesosiderite B2/3. He has a L5 Melt Breccia, which is another rare one. And I believe the third one is a Diagenite Breccia. I know it's Diagenite. It may be a brecciated Diagenite. So he is doing quite well for himself with meteorites and classifications. But I'm really happy to have this in my collection for now. I will gladly keep it and show it off and love it. Yeah, see, this one I put in a Riker case as soon as I got it, Ron. Yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up from Ron because yeah, something like this. I was like, I got it. I'm like, okay, it's coming out of every plastic bag.
Yeah.
No one's gonna breathe on it. A bird could look at it. So that's a kind of unfortunate story for my buddy Chris, who's a hell of a guy. I don't feel bad that I bought it, but I'm very happy for him in his classification. So every once in a while, as a dealer, collector, curator, you have a win. Every once in a while, you have a loss. You guys see that beautiful meteorite right there? I mean, look, everything's backwards. See that thing?
Ooh.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Oh, I love it.
Is that,
Looks so good right there.
however,
I had to buy it based on 2 pictures from a person who I knew did not know much about meteorites. We used Google Translate, and I PayPal as a friend. Warning, warning, warning. Okay. What this is supposed to, okay, what this was supposed to be was an Alte in iron, a nice sculptural, beautiful iron. That is a gorgeous looking iron. It's not iron.
no, it doesn't look like an iron.
If it was an iron, I mean, I'm not this strong, guys. You know what I mean? So let me see if I can get it under this camera here, if it's going to focus on. Yeah, okay, good. I took a gamble. And it didn't pay off, but I had to buy it based on, here, I'll do like this. I had to buy it based on just 2 pictures, and they were pretty crappy pictures. But tell me that's not a beautiful sculptural iron. You know what I mean? So the good thing about it is, you know, so let me tell you how I know and knew that it was not a iron meteorite. The assistance of Pat Brown, who we're missing today, unfortunately. We miss you, Pat. Hope you're feeling well. First, the density is off. Something this big, iron, would be 7 kilos, not 3.1. So the density is off. It's just way too light. Secondly, With my rare earth magnet, it should just wank to it and whoa. Instead, it knocks everything out now. But as you can see, it just, look at
Barely hangs on.
that. That's not an iron, folks.
No.
Oh,
So what I was able to do, because this, so it would be a total loss, but I was able to, you know, keep good communication with the seller. And oh, another giveaway Pat let me in on is these lines and cracks.
yeah,
Mhm.
not normal.
Of course, you can't see that from a photo of this angle. All you see is what you think is some nice fusion crusting stuff. But as soon as I showed him this, he's like, I hate to tell you what you got, but you don't have an iron. Now, the thing is, we don't know what it is. It could be a meteorite still. I don't know. I have the seller's permission to cut it, believe it or not, because she trusts me as a meteorite guy to do it properly and do the piece in honor, not ruin it. Like I'm not going to obviously lock that off. You know what I mean? If anything, I'm going to take off this bottom. So if it is a meteorite, it sits steady, and that will give me a nice look at the bottom, get a nice plain view of it, and hopefully it's full of chondrules and a little bit of metal flecks. But if not, I have a very interesting terrestrial rock. So I figured I'd, you know, so people always want to send us pictures and have us identify things based on pictures. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of like art, like waving. There's so many, but it's impossible sometimes. And you know, we're not trying to be misleading or be hard to deal with, but you know, I could photograph this and probably do a little bit of just photo contrasting and stuff and make you believe this is a meteorite. You know what I mean? So I have a nice sculptural piece of I don't know what right there.
Cut it
I've only
live.
been once or twice by that.
What's that, John?
Cut it live.
I should. That would be. If I
Do
can
it.
get it close enough to my blade, I could probably take that off. Or
Do it.
I'll take something off the back. But yeah.
That'd be a good topic for next week.
There you go.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, good. So
Cool.
that's a week a day in the life of a meteorite dealer. One day I'm opening a box thinking I got a fantastic deal on a beautiful sculptural iron that I will never cut and just display it after it's been stabilized, and it turns out to be we don't even know what. Like I have no idea what it is. It has the shape of a meteorite. Yeah. So, but so that was a loss. But the win was I got a nice Meteorite. That's a rare one. Hey, Karen. Good to see you, bud. Does anyone want to show something off? Or have a topic to discuss?
I was just gonna say that that's a little large for performing a streak test on, as far as an unglazed porcelain plate, to see if it was iron would leave a red or a black streak.
Yeah.
My thing is I'm not really I guess I don't have a whole lot of confidence in home tests and streak tests, and then you can also buy iron testing, and then they may work just fine, but to me the proof, I'm like a surgeon. Let's cut it. You know, let's get in there and see what it looks like.
Operate.
Yeah, because I mean, I could wipe, you know, to quote Chris Farley, I can get a good look at a T-bone, stick my head up a cow's ass, but I'd rather ask the doctor's advice.
That says it all.
Well, I think we're going to kick off a little bit of show and tell, checking in with Marco Gaisser in Germany. And I also have Christian, and he's in Europe. I forget where, but he's thinking about. He's been seeing the videos, and I sent him to this video today to watch Marco's submission, and so it's an open invitation. Any meteorite collector worldwide, if you want to have your meteorites displayed, I would love to have you submit a video. No music in the background, please, or else it gets copyrighted. And just describe what we're looking at as best you can and tell us what it means to you. You can always PM me for more information. But Marco is checking in from Germany with 3 beautifully oriented meteorites. I love this man. He just makes me laugh so much. And he calls one of his meteorites a potato. This is the most unpotato meteorite I've seen. Take it away, Marco.
Hello everyone. I hope you're all doing good and you're enjoying the hangout today. I think, again, it's time to see some nice oriented pieces. I prepared 3 today, and yes, let's start with the first one. Okay guys, let's start with the first piece for today. It's a 139 gram unclassified NWA chondrite. It shows a very nice fresh fusion crust, as you can see. So the interior of the piece is still, I would say, white, and the outside very, very nice and fresh crusted. It shows nice flow lines, also those 3 little ragmaglets here. And yeah, of course some parts are broken, but I think that's not so bad. Here, look at those flow lines here.
Jeez. Yeah, you totally see it dripping.
And that's the back side of the piece. As you can see all around, it shows a nice rollover lip. And of course that typical bubbly fusion crust, so that pooling effect of the crust on the back side.
Wow, look at that hard lip right there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The second piece I want to show today is this 957 gram unclassified NWA chondrite.
Whoa. Ooh.
As you can see, it's also a little bit weathered, but still shows nice flow lines on the front side, and also the typical pooling of the crust on the trading side.
Oh, head on right there.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I like that crack too. It adds to it. Ooh. Hold on a second.
Roll around the back. Ooh.
Hold on a second.
That almost looks oriented.
Look at that. Yeah, and then this is like completely head on, as if it was going to land right on your head. Wow.
I think it's very thick and roundly shaped for an oriented meteorite. It's not so flat, not a heat shield, but yeah, almost spherical. Looks a little bit like a potato.
It does not look like a potato.
Yeah, the last piece for today is really one of my centerpieces of my collection. It's also an unclassified chondrite. And as you can see, the orientation is really, really nice. It shows nice flow lines ending in deep ragmaglets. And also the backside shows a frothy fusion crust. Yeah, unfortunately, it's broken in 2 parts, but yeah, the 2 parts are still there, so for me it's not a big deal, and I think that's really a nice one, a beautiful piece.
Puzzle piece, an oriented
Sure is.
dripping. Dude, oh, look at that.
Nice.
Look at that right there. Jeez. Those radiating lines.
Yep.
Wow. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, hold on a second.
Jeez.
Really.
That right there is a nose cone shot of all, and it's a 2-piece puzzle. Look at that. So I'll interject in the video here for a moment. I was chatting with Marco earlier, right before we started actually, and he let me know the story behind purchasing this piece. He actually went in, saw the piece, and fell in love with it, purchased it. As he's walking out, the guy says, "Oh, you know, I have the other half back here."
Good salesperson.
So I asked him, like, was the second one twice as much per gram? He goes, "Oh, no, same." Just like, wow. Because that's the ultimate hook. You sell the first half, and then you're like, "Oh, you want the second half?"
Bait him in.
That is a gorgeous meteorite right there.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, so yes, what should I say? Oriented meteorites are my great passion, and yeah, I really love them. I hope you also like the pieces, and of course, I wish you a great hangout. Have fun, and see you next week. Bye bye, guys.
Thanks, guy.
Hello, everyone.
Marco, thanks for checking in, buddy. We love having you check in with us. Getting a
Yes,
lot of-
thank you.
There you go.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marco.
Yeah, everyone puts themselves on mute, and then they're saying thanks a lot, Marco, and giving thumbs up, and they're realizing they're on mute. Hey, I got because Marco kind of got me thinking about oriented meteorites. So I'm not a big oriented meteorite guy yet. I don't have any. I went through my collection quickly, and I really don't have a whole lot of oriented meteorites. I have a few of them. So I have like 4 little ones I figured I'd show off, and we'll talk about them, look at the features of them. And this first one actually was available at my sale on Saturday and didn't sell. It's a 62-gram piece with, I gotta raise my phone up, I think. There you go. It's a 62-gram piece with a rollover lip. So. Is my phone not going to focus? There we go.
Yeah.
So there you can see the rollover lip.
Absolutely.
You know what? I'm not liking my camera like this. I thought it'd be better for the YouTube experience, but it's not good enough for me. All right. So with this, I can do it a lot better. So here's the oriented front coming at you, and it drips down the side. Not nearly the quality and caliber that Marco's showing us, but it does show orientation. And I didn't even realize it till the sale when I was zooming in on it that it has rollover lipping. And it does have pretty fresh fusion crust. At least textural. You can still feel it, so it hasn't been sandblasted away yet. But you can see the very center of the rock. I'll get my patent pending dental pick pointer. You can see this entire center of the rock here where it is different than the other bits, which is really cool. But I'd love to get a super oriented one like he has. I mean, something that has kind of flow lines like that. This one I have marked as rollover lip, so I really hope it has a rollover lip. If not, I'm gonna look like a fool. But oh yeah, it does. Look at this. I'll try to zoom in a tiny bit. And we got Cameron wanting to show something off. Awesome. Look at this little heat shield type.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh yeah. There it is.
nice.
Mhm.
So not a complete one, but that's probably one of the better rollover lips I have, I think.
Well defined.
Yeah, so the what we're talking about, for those who may not understand on YouTube, is the orientation shows stability in flight. So as this meteorite was coming to Earth, it was falling like this without tumbling. And as it does that, it ablates away and rolls over the back. So you're literally having liquid rock roll over and get stuck on the back of it like that. Hopefully that makes a little bit of understanding to you. But this is just a really nice example. It's just a unclassified meteorite. But could you imagine actually picking this up off the ground and finding out that it's just a beautifully oriented little wonder? If it was more fresh, we could see the lines coming off the side. That would have been nice. Let me see here. I have this one that is a partial, and it doesn't really look that oriented until you flip it over and you realize that it was.
Right.
I wish I had more of this stone, but that's all that survived, or at least all that's found. But there's the some beautiful chondrules in there too. If you look right up there, there's a nice round one up there. One's right there. Yeah, so every little piece is interesting. And one thing that I learned about oriented meteorites is when NASA was trying to design the heat shielding and return capsules, they looked at meteorites and what survived. Did you guys hear that too?
Oh yeah, that's one of the basis of the ablation heat shield design, the shape of it.
Because that's exactly what this. Look at that drippy on the side. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. This is a John Higgins. This was actually a Christmas present from John Higgins.
Nice.
Yeah, a perfect little, maybe not perfect, but a button. Yeah, so that is a nice. Again, it's missing a little something, but that gives it character.
No, yes.
And nothing, no two meteorites are exactly the same. So even though, you know, we all have oriented heat shields, or maybe we do, everyone's going to be a little bit different. Like this crack adds character to it as well. Yeah. So that's why we love playing with these and touching them and examining them, because each and every single one is different. Look at that liquid crust right there. And it tells a story of the meteorite. So, and then it also helps you tell stories among friends, because you remember where you were and what you were doing when you picked it up or whatever. So if Cameron is ready, I'll be glad to throw it over to you.
Yeah, I also love oriented meteorites as well. I'm very excited when it's Marco's portion of the meeting. So
Beautiful.
anyway, I have a couple that I've always loved. Little shielded guy, and then he's got a bit of a lip to him.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And then I have this thing that I'm pretty sure I got from Topher.
Oh boy, wow.
Oh,
My nose cone.
there you go.
Yeah, I think I actually wrote on the COA nose cone.
Gee, that's beautiful.
So I like the Rigmaglypts. Had it checked a lot of my boxes, you know.
And it's got a good, it's good handpiece.
Well, I'll say.
Yeah. But as far as oriented pieces go, and a lot of you have probably already seen this one, but this guy is it's probably my centerpiece. With the
Nice. Oh boy.
How the hell does that happen?
Wow.
I don't know, but it went up for
doesn't look
sale,
real.
and I you know, I'd never seen one like it, so
That
Almost
is
like a button tektite almost.
Yeah.
You know what that
That's
reminds
sick.
me of was a Moki ball, kind of, because it's got that round shape. It's in an iron concretion.
Concretion.
You know, that's what it reminds me of. But that's
Wow.
oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Let me yeah, turn it. That's it right there. Damn, that is the
outstanding.
weirdest thing. The protruding backside is crazy.
Wow.
Wait, show that angle again.
Looks like a boat.
Could that
Holy
be
crap.
some kind of a graphite nodule buried in the metal? I have a meteorite kind of like that too.
Wow.
It's got a graphite ball in the middle of it, but surrounded by bits of iron.
Wow, Cameron, that's gorgeous, dude.
yeah, it sits on the top shelf.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice, beautiful.
Wow.
So yeah, that's all I got.
Do I
If
sell it?
anyone has something like that available for sale, let me know.
No, I got dibs.
Well, since you got dibs, I'll give you camera rights too. You ready?
Okay.
Oh, one more thing. One more thing.
Oh, hold on.
I
We're not
get
done
back.
with Cameron yet.
That's fine.
And this doesn't show very well, but I got more Tarta in the mail today, but it's 0.13 grams. They're all oriented. They look amazing under the loupe, but of course they don't show well here. But even more importantly, it was this month's Meteorite of the month.
Are you
Sure
serious?
was.
Oh wow.
So-
Yeah.
So $50, 0.133 grams, and
And-
all three are oriented. So they all have a nice lip on them, but of course I can't show you.
That's
So-
crazy. You know what? I'm really happy and proud for everyone who's in the Meteorite of the Month Club. I will tell you that I'm glad that the Tarta thing, or the Tarta was the Meteorite of the Month after my sale. Because I did have some nice Tartas, and I still do. Yeah, and some of them are like super oriented and just drippy, and it's crazy looking. So I'm gonna kick it over to Ron now.
Okay. Second. All right, so I've got a couple and just random things I want to show. All right, so I'm going to change my camera here. Let's see here. There. Okay, this is a Mount Dooling I bought a few years ago. It's kind of hard to see right now, but it's just a minute. I got a little flash here. I'm going to highlight it. But it's a 400 gram. You see Mount Dooling. Well, where'd it go? I had it setting up here. It's 409 grams. I got this from Nakhlite. I just they're hard to come by. Look, there's my little magnet on there.
Which one is that? I'm sorry.
Mount Dooling, also known as
wow.
Gosnells. These are hard to get.
You normally don't. You only see them sliced usually.
Well, this one I was lucky enough to get a whole stone.
Whole individual.
Wow.
And a good large one too. Backside isn't so interesting. It's kind of flat, but it's got a good shape to it. It's got a nice front. Like this ridge kind of in the middle.
Oh yeah, look. You can. I love those rags in there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Like when the light hits it, it just dimples.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's quite a few. They're hard to see, but there are some regoliths in there. That's why I'm trying to highlight it.
Yeah. No. It
Also,
shows.
Okay, I got two more things. One's a story, then I want to show you the other one. It's a, this one's out of Canada. It's a Whitecourt. Also another one that's hard to get. Whoops, there's the magnet again. This is another one that I bought. Actually, it was an eBay purchase. Still got all the rust and everything on it, but this one is almost impossible to get because you have to have an export permit for these. It's now a federally protected preserve.
Right.
That's a pretty big weight. What is that, like 60 grams?
Oh no, it's way over that. Just a minute.
Oh,
Way over that. That one is 190 grams.
geez. Okay.
I got this 3 years ago from, where did I get this one from? Dr. Siderite. I bought it from, oh, come on, where the hell is it? I'm trying to find the seller. Coach is an eBay seller.
Yeah.
But
that's a big
it's
white
got
court.
a bunch of little bloods on here that just kind of poking out of the rust. And then the last thing I want to share with you, let me see if I said, yeah, here it is. Okay, I got to change my screen here for a second. Topher, you were talking about getting bit by a Meteorwrong.
Yeah.
I want to show you my story.
Good. That way I don't feel as bad.
Yeah, commiserate. Okay, can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is again a kind of a blurry picture, but guy said it was a meteorite. You know, this is back in my early days. I wasn't so educated about you know, meteorites and Meteorwrongs.
Yep.
So he sent me a couple more pictures, and it looked legit. You know, it's got red ellipse in it. You know, of course, today I would know immediately it's not a meteorite. However, when I turned it over, see the stuff right here?
Wow.
Quartz.
Yeah.
I had this weird number TQ01327, which I have no idea what that is. But you know, and it was supposed to be an iron. As soon as I picked it up, I knew it wasn't an iron.
Yeah.
So I went back online. The guy was overseas somewhere. I went back online.
Don't close that down yet.
Okay.
Yeah, keep talking, but don't close it down
Okay.
yet.
So I threatened to turn the guy over to the eBay police,
Mm-hmm.
and I had he refunded my money within 5 minutes.
Nice.
And he just said, send the rock back. So I just put it right back in the same box. He sat it in, slapped the sticker on it, and mailed it off. Even paid for the postage. So it just blew me away. You know, I thought, how can I get bit like that? So then I started looking at a lot of these sites that have they show you Meteorwrongs.
Yep.
No, yeah, they have you look at meteorites, Meteorwrongs, and I kind of educated myself, and so I haven't gotten bit since.
Can you show us in detail, because we can see your mouse move? Can you detail and show us? You said earlier you might have been duped, but now you're more educated and totally would know.
Yeah.
So show us what stands out, not just us, but everyone.
On this one,
Besides the huge quartz.
Well, first off, I see vesicles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now all these little holes here are vesicles. Up here, you see them all over. You see the pitting on the surface. Well, the first thing that should have alerted me is the blurry picture.
Yep.
Number one. I mean, cameras today, even the lousiest camera can take a pretty good picture.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that one right there. But what I was looking at originally was that picture right there. And yeah, soft focus can cover up a lot of blemishes, but you can still see right here, vesicle, right here, there's kind of a cavity.
Mm-hmm. Go back to that picture for 1 second, Ron, please.
Sure.
Look at the 1.5 inch mark. That's what caught my attention. That little cavity towards the left. Yep, right there.
Okay,
as soon as I saw that picture, it's the only thing in focus. So I went right to it, and that's those little pinprick holes.
Are
exactly what you're talking about as being vesicles and being.
Those are more vesicles. So then, you know, I took a look at some of the other pictures you sent, and you know, like I said, I was kind of naive back in those days, and it looked good, and I was, eager to buy new meteorites because I only had a couple. But this one just kind of jumped out at me too. You see a vesicle here, cavity here. You see a bunch of them down here.
It's finally in focus.
Yeah, this is actually not bad focus. It still could be better, but still.
Yeah.
Actually, the most focused part is right up in here. And to this day, I have no idea what this rock is. I returned. I had it in my hands for maybe half an hour and put it right back in the mail. So that's my little story about getting bit. But fortunately, I got my money back. But I think, okay, I'm going to minimize this. On this one, I think, let me see, put this up here. The Meteorwrong, here we are. This is my list, by the way. Meteorwrong, I paid the guy, well, I don't even have the price on here. I probably took it off there. Guy named Wintergreen. Wintergreen-D, that was the guy's name.
Yeah.
Right here. So I deleted everything, got rid of all the information, but never again.
Yeah, you learned.
So
I have a box of
that's my little story.
Wow. Yeah, and we all have them. We all try to, you have to roll the dice sometimes. Like even in Tucson, we're meteorite experts. We're holding it in our hands. We're passing it back and forth. We have eye loops. We're out in the sunlight, and we still can't tell.
And we can still get burned. That's right. It's I haven't seen many fakes in Tucson, but I've seen a few. I've been there 6 times now, I guess, and I have to say I go to the same vendors all the time. I deal with above board vendors. And so I haven't been burned there, but on eBay, you've got to be really careful. There are a lot.
I would tell anyone. I would tell anyone and everyone, if you're interested in meteorites, do not go to eBay for your first purchases.
Well, it seems to be worse these days. When I first started, I was buying most of my stuff there. I got some good stuff at decent prices. But lately, the last year or so, man, it's just a wash in fakes.
Yeah. The advice because I don't want to hurt any of my friends who are extremely successful and very legitimate on eBay. There are some very legitimate sellers.
Yeah, there's some good people out there.
What you really need to do is try to connect with them, find out who they are, Google search, find out a way to find out who they are. One of the easiest ways to find out who they are is if they have an IMCA number or a
meteorological. Not everybody has an IMCA number.
Yeah, well, there's other meteorological organizations and other associations, even if it's not in America. Like I literally was doing research on a guy that I was thinking about buying from, and he had some certificate number from a Polish thing. Well, I'm not just going to take it just on his word, oh yeah, Poland, good. I went and verified, and it's a legitimate organization. So it's like, okay. So there's ways to track people down, but quite honestly, if you don't know what you're buying, you can
I tend to look at the guy's history. What's his rating? What's he sold? What does he sell? Because some people just sell stuff. I saw one today that had a very nice slice of a Gibeon. And I thought, well, I'll check the guy out. So I checked his past sales. He just sells trinkets. He just happened to somehow get hold of something. It was a legit thing. It had a certificate and everything. Looked right. But I looked at his rating. If he's anything below 99.9%, I kind of question him a little bit. I see what his people have said about him. So that helps to do a little bit of that kind of. And it's simple to do. It's all there. It's right in front of you.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you search for what else? I mean, if all they're doing is selling Barbie dolls and baseball cards, and now they have a lunar, something's wrong.
Yeah. That's a red flag. That's definitely a red flag.
But I will tell you, I have scored some amazing meteorites off of eBay with people who sell trinkets and nothing, and they just go to they inherit something, or they buy a locker, a storage locker, whatever, and they have a meteorite. They, just for instance, a Canyon Diablo. You find those and stuff, and I'll gladly buy those up if they're in good condition.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I have today.
Nice. Hey, oh man, oh yay! I just saw the infamous Pat Brown click in. He's on California time. He might have joined us an hour late.
Oh, you guys, are we an hour in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been waiting and waiting for
you.
Topher, I wanted to check with you to make sure that you weren't waiting on anything for me for items from the sale.
No, I'm working my way through. As people may not know, but on last Wednesday I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning getting the hangout meeting on YouTube. Then Friday I was up to 5 a.m. prepping for the sale, and Saturday I worked on the sale from like 3 till about 5 in the morning when I finally got the YouTube video edited and up online. Saturday, nothing. I did nothing.
Good. Well, I just wanted to make sure you weren't waiting on me for something.
No.
And then Sean, either I gave him a bad address or he was up too late or something or other. So I understand you're holding some LL3s hostage on me here.
Well, unless you pay a handsome ransom, which was my nickname in high school, by the way. A box arrived from Sean with your name on it to my address, and the postman delivered it. So I have it here. I haven't opened it. So if you want, I can open and throw it all in your box together. But yeah, I've been working feverishly around the clock to get everyone's orders squared away 100% perfect, get everyone's COAs totally documented, and get everyone's packages with care packed. And I'm throwing in a little special gift that meteorite hunters will enjoy. It's a joke gift, but it's still kind of funny.
Okay, well, I figured that was the case, but I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't holding up the parade on something.
Yeah,
and go ahead and open up that box, and I'll go on it. If you drool on it, squeegee the drool off, and then just you can chuck it in there in the box with the rest of the stuff.
Will do for sure. Yeah. So far we've been talking about oriented meteorites a little bit today. We had a check-in from Marco in Germany, and Cameron showed off just brain numbing oriented 3D back-sided baby got back meteorite.
Oh, cool.
It looked like a freaking boat. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Yeah.
Wow.
So we also did a little bit of update on a Mesosiderite that is being updated on the submitted to the NOMCOM, waiting for approval, and it will be the first one of one, a Mesosiderite B2/3.
Wow.
And I have the main mass.
Cool.
It's not that big, but I have it. I want to let everyone know, when you raise your hand, I will definitely go to you, but I'm going to show you a meteorite, actually two of them, and let you guys tell me what meteorite it is. We're going to play the name the meteorite game, and then it should be fairly, oh my God, should be fairly easy.
Well,
can I raise my hand?
Eucrite.
If you raise your hand electronically, and I'll put the camera on you. But
and it's definitely one of those calcium poor ultra glassy. Is it the one from Turkey that's unpronounceable?
Sierrasek? Bengal? No. That's the one we had fun on my sale trying to say. Nope. This is a witness fall.
A witness fall.
Camel Donga?
Yes, it is.
That was where I was going next. Yeah,
Nice
that one's
color gives it away.
beautiful.
Now that you mention it.
But it doesn't have any caliche staining on it.
Nope. I wonder, is it magnetic?
Beautiful shape.
Oh,
Definitely.
There we go.
Cool.
Yeah, camel dongos and milba lilies were sort of the pretty oriented stone meteorites before Chelyabinsk.
So that is one of them, and they're known for it's a howardite, and it's known for its black. This one's just ridiculously sexy.
Oh,
Wow.
Every
Wow.
single side.
That texture.
Look at that.
How
So
glassy
strange.
that is.
Yeah.
That's definitely that calcium pore, super glassy fusion crust.
Is there a way you could get a picture of that or something where, I don't know, like I want to see more of it, if that makes any sense. It looks, it's hard to really
right there?
Yeah, it could
appreciate it.
easily be.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Shape is right.
Which
Yeah.
means this would be the front side.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Look at if you look at the high ridges of
You see them dripping over.
they radiate over that edge. So yeah, that's a rollover lip.
Wow.
Gotta buy it, Christian.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything's for sale.
Got one.
What?
For the right price.
Yeah, after all the time I've been working till 5 a.m., everything's for sale. It's crazy Topher's clearance sale.
Is it a couple of grams, Topher?
This one is, well, there's two of them. One is 3.4, one is 4 grams. I think this is the 4 gram one. Yeah, but it's, whoa.
What would that one be? What would the price be?
I have to look at the market value real quick to figure it out, but
Let me know.
I just got this one. Yeah, I'm super happy with it.
So those are super interesting under reflected cross-polarized light, because the fusion crust is so clear and doesn't have any particulate in it. You can actually see right through the fusion crust on those when you cancel out the surface reflections, and it's a beautiful one under that setup.
Yeah, these are normal camel donga is about $20 a gram. These I paid more than that for. So if anyone's interested, I will make them available. But just know that especially that perfect one carries a premium, as most perfect specimens do. I mean, look at me. I mean, perfect specimen was my nickname in high school. We got Kevin joining us too, and also Fred from Canada. Nice. I reported something about Fred, and I made him out to. I love your background, by the way, buddy.
That's a good one.
I said something about Fred during the sale, and I made him out to be a hero that he's not. He's still my hero, but he's not the hero of Buzzard Coulee. I falsely reported that Fred had hunted Buzzard Coulee, and he hasn't. I also was thinking, oh, you know what? That's right. It was Whitecourt. He says, no, not Whitecourt either. He's a prolific hunter in the northern United States, but not those two falls, but in Canada as well. So we are showing off anything and everything. The kind of like side topic for the day, if you will, is anything cool or oriented, like your head.
I've got a it's in the ephemera class, but you know, our shield oriented, especially you know, tektites and stone meteorites that are that, you know, heat shield body oriented shape. The
A little too loud now, I think.
okay, that was
There you go.
that was the inspiration for the shape of the heat shields on.
That was 12 minutes ago. Before you joined us, that was the topic.
Yeah. Well, so here is a rare book, but it's actually been reprinted by Dover, and so last I knew it was available on Amazon, but it's Physics of Meteor Flight in the Atmosphere by OPIC. And the thing that's extraordinary about it is it was copyright 1958. And
wow.
This copy obviously is ex-library, but it's kind of a special library. It has a Library of Congress stamp and a Langley Research Center.
Langley as in West Virginia?
Langley as in Langley Station. Well, back then it was called Langley Station. It's now called Langley Field, or is a military base anyhow, or you know, there's a lot of CIA stuff that happens there. Is my understanding, but it's in Hampton, Virginia, just on the outskirts.
Oh, Virginia. Okay. Yeah.
Of Washington D.C.
Yeah. So that's the original 52 or 58 edition.
This is the original 58 edition, and there's the title page.
So you wonder what scientists read that and worked on what projects.
Yeah, and there's the back of the page.
58.
And despite the fact that it's a super rare book, it's one that's been on my radar for a long time, and so I actually have 2 copies of it. This other one is not ex-library, but it's the same, 1958 publishing of it, and it. I should understand more of this because I'm an engineer, but I'm not super good on the math, but it goes into super gory detail of all the equations about meteor flight through the atmosphere. And one of my favorite used bookstores is Bibliomania in Oakland, California. So that's where this. I wouldn't be at all surprised. The card doesn't have a website, but it's books@bibliomania.ws, Whiskey Sierra.
Yeah, that's like Pat to have 2 of everything.
Well, yeah, and someplace I have the Dover reprint. I think it's in the other room where I'm reading it, but there's a modern Dover reprint as well.
Well, I have a small story to tell, unless someone wants to raise their hand or wave at the camera, and I'm not seeing anything. So on with the story. I fell in love with Buzzard Coulee over the sale. When I made a purchase of some because I wanted some, and I just went crazy and bought them all. And so glad I did. They are gorgeous. So I'm going to show you a few of the samples that I have of Buzzard Coulee. It is a witnessed fall from Saskatchewan, Canada, classified as an H4. If anyone knows the date, you get extra cool points. Without looking, Art.
I'm just looking at it today.
I'm sorry about that.
It's actually 12 years ago in 2 days. It was the 20th of November in 2008. So we're looking at a dozen years, and they look as fresh as the day they fell. And I'll be honest with you, I had no idea. I really didn't know how beautiful. This is an absolutely gorgeous meteorite. It's stunning. It really is. And I really didn't even know or appreciate Buzzard Coulee before this past weekend. I rushed them into the United States for the sale. So this is like 24 grams. Oz owns the other half of this stone.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, it was
First off,
like
the polish
40.
is perfect. Look at the colors. It's fresh as the day it fell. This is actually a cracked piece, which is cool because Oz gets to see a natural cleave on his. And I actually may just have to add this to my collection, so Oz and I have split rock.
I may just have to buy it.
Everything's for sale. I'm a dealer, not a hoarder. But you can actually, as someone I heard mention, you can see the chondrules through the fusion crust. And my heartbeat through the meteorite. But it is just a beautiful, beautiful meteorite.
Absolutely.
So the gentleman that I bought these from has asked to remain anonymous, but he has allowed me to share his story with you guys. So I'm going to flip through a few more of these rocks as I tell you the story of an anonymous guy who collected Buzzard Coulee. He basically was interested in meteorite hunting and got a buddy, and they went meteorite hunting and they came up with zilch. He lives in Canada. This is a 9.3 one. He lives in Canada and went meteorite hunting and couldn't find anything. When Buzzard Coulee happened, the call to arms went out to everyone. Look at how fresh that is.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Especially being from Canada, that I want a piece of that.
Yeah, this one I believe is oriented because of the way it is. But the call to arms went out. They said that we need all volunteers to look for this meteorite. It's got to be right around here somewhere. So they zeroed in and they zeroed in on where they thought it was, and it was right in the middle of a farmer's land. So they approached the farmer and told him, this was the University of Calgary, I think, approached him and basically said, we want to hunt on your land. Everything belongs to you, but can we do it? And he said, sure. His son this is a nice little stone that's cut in half. His son happens to be a huge rock and space fanatic. When he heard there might be meteorites on his property, he asked his teacher to organize a science field trip to his farm for his entire 5th grade class to hunt for Buzzard Coulee.
Nice.
And it was approved. So the entire kids got paired up with an adult, experienced hunter. They went just like a CSI line. They joined, shoulder to arm's length apart, and walked the farm. And a 4th grade girl found the first piece of Buzzard Coulee.
Wow.
At the end of the 3-day hunt, all the pieces were turned in to the landowner, who made, look at that crust, who made several of the pieces available to the actual hunters and finders, who were absolutely more than pleased to buy back their finds. And a bunch were donated to the are now in Calgary Museum. I don't want to say donated, but they are now there. This is the other half of that one. This one's nice because it was cut into a deep regmaglyph. Look at that. So he only was able to buy a few of the stones that he found, and he kept them for years. He gave slices to his daughters and then he decided, what the heck, I'll put some up for sale, see if they'll sell. And I bought them all. So I hit him up, does he have any more? And he's questioning whether he's going to release them to me or save them for his daughters. But I let him know.
You could do a nice slice on that, and I'd pay you for it.
I would pay you to never, ever mention cutting this rock again. There, you know what? Eventually, Michelangelo walked away from David and said, "I'm done.
Yeah.
This is done." This,
okay.
Yeah, this is absolutely, yeah. And as Fred McPherson was enlightening me, Buzzard Coulee, these are fairly good size for Buzzard Coulee. They're not small.
Yeah, don't damage it at this point. Cutting it is damaging it at this point.
Yeah. Once you hit perfect, it's like the people who are addicted to cosmetic surgery. You know, when's enough? When you look like a baboon, okay?
Or Michael Jackson.
When you look like a baboon. So no, these are absolutely perfect the way they are. I'm definitely keen, as my Aussie mates say, I'm definitely keen on keeping any of my collection. But, so that was pretty nice. Now I won't disclose who he is, but I will show you pictures. Let me see. Yeah, I want to make sure I don't disclose his information, but gave me really nice personal COAs with the item. So there's a picture of him collecting them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that actually may be one of the stones right there.
Yep.
Because it definitely looks like the 46-gram piece that Oz has half of and I have half of, but I'm not sure.
Nice.
So yeah. Oops, I don't want to show you. Yeah. So definitely some really good COAs to go with these, which is always appreciated. That's part of the the joy of collecting is also getting the documentation to go with it.
Awesome story.
That was a good story.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
I've got a short story I'd like to share as well. Not mine, but one that I've learned through the literature.
Awesome. And then we're going to go to Sam Lopez, who is joining us with something to share as well. So what do you have for us, Pat?
So back in the day, when we had, just U.S. found, pre-NWA, we had U.S. found meteorites and we had meteorites found in Australia. And of course, the Australian laws have always been the same in that, because they're a former colony of the UK, their laws are based around the UK laws. And in the UK, meteorites belong to the Crown. But, there are ways to get them and to legally export them. You need an export permit and so forth. But in Australia, they were pretty lax about the export permit stuff for a long time. So Haig was down there hunting and taught the locals how to recognize meteorites. And he was having locals go out into the Millbililli strewn field and find Millbilillis, and then once they got a shoebox full or whatever, they would pop it in the mail to him. Well, he opened up one of these boxes of Millbilillis, and one of them didn't look right. One of them didn't match the other ones. And after a great deal of study, it turned out that was Calcalong Creek, which I don't have a photo right here in front of me. I couldn't find one of the books real quickly, but it's roughly golf ball size or a little less, 19 grams, and it was actually the first. Not the first lunar meteorite found, but the first lunar meteorite found that could be privately owned, that was outside of Antarctica. And so all of a sudden, the Australian government,
at this time, nothing had been found out of Northwest Africa, lunar wise.
That's correct. Yes.
Wow.
And this was a while ago. This was really before the NWA gold rush, and so the Australian government all of a sudden sat up and said, "Oh, well, you need to have this sort of export permit, and you need to have this, that, and the other thing. And by the way, we want you to send that one back to us." And
how'd that work out for them?
Haig did not send it back. Haig can't go to Australia anymore, I think, still to this day. And I was talking to a friend who knew nothing about meteorites, and showed my 11-273 slice.
Wow.
And we were talking about how do you know? Calcalong Creek was very extensively studied.
How do you say it? Calcalong?
Calcalong. It's Calcalong. Calcalong. Sort of like calculus, but not quite all the way there. So Calcalong Creek was studied very extensively, and compared to the Apollo astronaut, and this is one of my favorite books. I was so appalled that Topher didn't have a copy of this that I sat one time. So the top slice there is a slice of Calcalong Creek. And of course we had the Apollo return samples to compare against, but they've not been subject to impact to eject them from the moon, and they've not been through our atmosphere. And so if you go and look through the catalog of the Apollo samples, there are many in there that would get a quick, sorry, that's not a meteorite judgment, because there are actually several that are vesicular basalt with lots of expanding gas bubbles and look a lot like a lot of the basalts.
There's one that looks like a sponge, like an ocean sponge.
Yes. It's a 20% porosity or something.
Yeah.
And but so Calcalong Creek was the first one that you could own legally, although there's still this if you have a piece of that, don't go to Australia. But this meteorite here at the bottom of the page is one of the Ansmet meteorites. It is Allen Hill's 81005, and it, in fact, was the first lunar meteorite that we identified on Earth. And of course, being one of the Antarctic meteorites, and having been found after 1977, it cannot be owned by an individual, can only be owned by a university, a museum, what have you. So for Calcalong Creek, we also compared, we as the big science community, compared against some of these Antarctic meteorites that we learned to be lunar. So if anybody offers you a big box of Milba lilies, look through them really careful.
That's awesome.
And then I had a couple more book things I wanted to share. This one, Chondrules and Their Origin by King, is a little older book. It was really the first one about that really concentrated on chondrule origin, and it's by the Lunar Planetary Institute, 1983. And this one is widely available on the web in PDF form for free, because it's, you know, government work, and so it was paid for by us taxpayers, therefore it's free. But I actually came across a physical bound, you know, original issue book copy of it, so that was nice to have. And then one time when my son was here to visit, I was constantly searching for meteorite books, and this whole bookshelf behind me here, there's a few comet books and 1 or 2 desert books in there, but basically that's all meteorite and tektite books. And
you did say comic books, not comet.
So, but there's another you know, third of that again that are spread around the house that I'm in the process of reading. But so I'm looking through book listings online, and as we were chatting, and I came across this one, and I thought, oh, ha 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 ha, look at this. But Ben told me, oh, Dad, you got to buy that. So
Jesus Christ,
Meteorite Prophecy. And you know, the people who wrote it, you know, they're sailing missionaries, and it was $19.50. I think it was $1.02 or something like that on eBay. But it's really quite detailed, and that's the whole timeline of Jesus Christ's meteorite prophecy. And it is definitely tinfoil hat sort of stuff, but he's you know, he's gone through and he has.
So it's not canon?
No, it's not canonical, but it is quite amazing. So if you ever run across a copy of Jesus Christ Meteorite Prophecies, not a bad addition to your library
for $1 or less. Yeah, and the subtitle to that is when we were walking on the beach and you saw one set of feet, that's because I was hit with a meteorite. Hey, thanks for sharing this with us, buddy. Appreciate it, and good to have you on with us, man.
Next week I'll try to be on time.
Yeah, Sam, are you ready to go? Where is Sam? I was just going to kick it to Sam, then he dropped off. I don't see him. All right.
This is the second one that I've joined, and I'm just glad to be here. It's really fun, and I knew myself that I can participate. You know, it's not a YouTube video.
Exactly. Well, we're glad you joined us, man, because that's really what the goal is to just, you know, widen our experience and allow other people to join us. Hold on, let me pause this for a second. Yeah, so really the goal of the YouTube channel is to offer true information, accurate information regarding meteorites, and make it available for people to, you know, to join us, to ask questions, to participate if they want, or you can sit as a fly on the wall. You know what I mean? You don't have to participate if you don't want to, and you can ask questions. We have somewhat experts here, and then we have me. So between all of us, we'll get your questions answered, or at least researched. So I'm glad you're able to join us. I want to show this to Pat. This is the non-iron iron.
Yeah, I was thinking some more about that, and the density of it just does not look right. If that were a nickel iron meteorite,
kilos.
It would be 7, 8, 9 kilos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a man, but I'm not this manly. So.
Iron Man.
Hey, Art, what do you have for us today, buddy?
Yeah, I found something on YouTube, and this is the National. It's an auction piece from Christie's auction house of Lunar that went for $2.5 million.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm glad to see that there's people out there that can afford those pieces, but I don't happen to be one of them.
Yeah, no. There's a news article that's going around right now where they're talking about the what is it?
Kolang.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Kolang, and that's just a terrible story. How that's all busting out, you know.
Yeah, it was very, very badly written, and they got fast and loose with the mathematics.
Yeah,
I think that originated from the Sun newspaper in the UK.
Yeah.
And it's an absolute rag of a paper. I mean, it's not worth wiping your bum with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Don, if you can get a little closer to your mic next time, that'd be awesome. Yeah. The thing we're complaining about is the fact that they value a meteorite at $1.8 million and the local finer instant millionaire. No. Okay. You can't take a sub-gram. Ask Mike Kelly. You can't take a sub-gram piece and multiply it out for the main mass kilograms. You're going to end up with $1.8 million rock, and ain't no one paying one. I mean, I know what it went for. Trust me, it wasn't 1.8. And unfortunately, I'm not going to name any names, but I do want to give everyone all the latest hot gossip. Supposedly, the purchase of the meteorite was supposed to be made away from the hammered residence. The owner, did not want any undue attention. The whole village knew what was going on. It was not kept private. So when you have that poor of a village and something lands in the village, do you think that one guy gets to keep all non-existent $1.8 million? Hell to the no. Let's just say that the city magistrates decided they needed a new church. So the city has a new church, and if you believe for one split second that poor guy whose house got hammered and is supposedly a millionaire can rub two quarters together, I'll tell you another story.
So is there a new meteorite tax in Indonesia now?
Wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. But it's just a sad story, you know. We got Christian with something to show off, and we'll go right to you, buddy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Christian Reha, and let me show something that I got from Topher, actually. Since the theme is oriented meteorites, this is a Sikhote-Alin.
Yeah.
That is a sweet, sweet meteorite.
Let me get my light a bit closer, and I'll just lay it down on this table for now. Maybe I can get a better picture here.
Someone asked a few days ago online if, as a meteorite dealer, we remember pieces. Yes, I remember this piece.
Oh, man.
Do you remember the weight?
1863.
Oh, no. It's 14.47 grams. So I haven't revealed the backs, or I'd say the front side yet. This is just the low pressure side. It's pretty, it's almost like a taco, you know, just not as tall. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
That is a beauty.
Yes.
Indeed.
The money shot.
Set this down real quick.
Those are beautiful little rags.
Yeah, and it looks like there's some sort of, well, actually, maybe this is the back. I'm not sure.
No, I think that would be the front.
That's the front. Yeah.
All of the channeling out in the back is probably not completely aerodynamic shaping. There may be, that one, when the thing disrupted in incandescent flight, at the millisecond that it disrupts, the pieces are shrapnel, but then they still have enough incandescent flight that they can form regmaglyphs again. So I think there's probably some shrapnel shaping as well as aerodynamic.
Okay, that's good to know that name, incandescent flight. Never heard that before, but yeah, look at this, how this spherical curve is sort of as a result of.
Eventually, at one point in its flight, it was, let's say, coin shaped versus that.
Yeah.
It looks like someone got that and put it in a wrench and just kind of crunched it. But that's just the ablated flight, bending it back and sharpening the edges, or dulling the edges of the shrapnel.
Yeah. This is my favorite Sikhote-Alin, by the way. So thank you, Topher.
Nice.
I'm so glad you like it.
I appreciate it.
Congrats.
Yeah. Maybe one of my favorite meteorites, but I always say that whenever I'm on here. So.
Yeah, we change our favorites weekly.
Indeed.
Nice. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
Topher, if nobody has anything else, I have a Paul Harvey rest of the story.
Okay.
Calcalong Creek. So everybody, if you haven't got this book, run out and get it right now. Make sure you get the second edition, not the first edition. But on page 299, now this is Norton, Richard Norton, who passed away a few years ago. I got to meet him and had some really good conversations with him. He was an amazing man, and his wife Dorothy Norton Kashuba is an amazing person as well. But so
if I can interject for 1 second, Pat,
sure.
In case Ann Black is watching, I did meet Dorothy out in Seattle and her husband John, and it was an honor and a privilege to meet them both.
Yes, and in fact, it was our own Ann Black who did a little matchmaking there and introduced them to each other. Because of course, John Kashuba has done all of the thin section photos for Ann Black's thin section selling work, and John's written a bunch of articles, and his photos show up in a number of books. So on page 299, so here's Robert Haig, and on 298 there, and that's him standing in front of El Chaco, which was a very, very large Campo de Cielo, largest at the time, but they've since found one larger. And Haig went down there to buy this meteorite, bought it from somebody of maybe dubious ownership, and got thrown in jail. But he's got there's some of the story, I think probably some of the stories, and some of the stories in the book here too. But he did a lot of, while he was in jail, he did a lot of hanging out with the mayor and drinking champagne and a bunch of things like that too. So I don't think he was anyhow, he didn't leave the country with a meteorite, and he officially was put on trial, but he just left the $20,000 that he paid for the meteorite, and so he probably can't go back to Argentina either. But here he's on page 299. Norton says, in early 1990 or February 1991, I wandered into Robert Haig's room at the Desert Inn in Tucson show. This is where he conducts business during the Gem and Mineral Show each year. He wasn't there, but his assistant, Mark Carlton, motioned to me, and he reached into a display case and picked up something in his cupped hand. Taking my hand, he opened his, and onto my palm dropped a small black stone no bigger than a walnut. With a satisfied smile, he proudly revealed its secret. This was a rock from the lunar surface. So there I was, without a museum guard or an alarm system, holding a priceless piece of the moon. Bob wants people to hold it, Mark said. Where else would that be possible, I thought. Then Mark told me the story about the Lunar Rock. Every meteorite hunter knows that the best place to hunt meteorites is where the soil is sandy, where there's few natural rocks, where the weather is clear and dry. Australia has been a great desert for meteorite hunting. The Null Arbor Plain, which I thought for the longest time, it's like, man, that's really a cool name. Is that got to be like some sort of Aboriginal name or something like that? But it isn't. Null is null, meaning none.
Nothing.
And Arbor is Latin for tree. So Null Arbor Plain is the place where there are no trees. So near the south coast of Western Australia, known for the large Mundarbilla Island irons and many other smaller finds. In October 1960, exact date unknown, the fall of a rare type of stony meteorite startled the sheep ranchers on the Millbilly Station homestead, about 7 miles from the town of Wiluna in Western Australia. The meteorites were eucritic chondrites, worth plenty on the meteorite market, and they fell over a large area, but fortunately the meteors had a shiny black crust that easily distinguished them from the local desert rocks. Gold prospector named Henry Redford heard about the meteorites and the prices that museums were paying for them, so he headed the strewn field too to find his fortune, and he did. A few days of searching, he found several dozen small stones. It was tough work, but he was alone. So adopting Haig's technique, he offered rewards to the local Aborigines. So I didn't get that part of the story exactly right. And so he had an army of searchers finding stones by the bucketful. Haig purchased hundreds of these interesting meteorites from Redford and planned to sell them worldwide. Before he could sell them, though, he had to examine each one for verification, probably, to make sure it's a millbilly. And he was looking through a pile, and he picked out a small stone that felt different, and put it aside, intending to look at it more carefully as he continued the sorting. When I looked at the stone again, and this is Haig talking, I could see that the specimen had tiny gas vesicles in the fusion crust, something so rare I've only seen it on a few other meteorites. The crust had a slight greenish tint, unlike the millbillies. I ground off a tiny corner to look inside, and again, it was different from the millbilly eucrite. It contained tiny white clasps as seen in photos of moon rocks. And here's a picture of it.
Wow.
Just in black and white. That's on the photos on page 301. And so now we're back to Norton, and he says, barely able to contain his excitement, Haig rushed the little meteorite over to Dr. William Boynton and Dolores Hill, meteorite experts at University of Arizona's Lunar and Planetary Laboratory. One look was enough to excite them too. Boynton called for an analysis. Haig and the other scientists waited for the results with the anxiety of expectant parents. When the official word came, we have analyzed the new meteorite by neutron activation analysis and believe it to be of lunar origin based on comparison with other meteorites, Allen Hills 81005, and samples returned from the Apollo landing sites. So the news was out. Robert Haig had done the impossible again. He now possessed a moon rock, something that NASA had paid dearly to acquire 2 decades earlier, our Apollo mission. And it was a piece of lunar crust from an area not sampled by either American manned or Russian unmanned missions, making it unique. Haig committed 6 grams for scientific analysis. Now, this thing started at 19 grams. So this was not the first moon rock found on Earth. researchers had discovered 11 on the Antarctic ice over the last several years. For years, this 19-gram specimen remained the only moon rock in the world in private hands. On March 23rd, 1997, a private collector recovered a second, much larger moon rock in the Libyan Sahara Desert. The rock, a polymect Anorthositic breccia from the lunar highlands, weighed 531 grams and was called Dal Argani 262. So to own a piece of the moon was another dream come true for Bob Haig. His response to the news was predictable. With the usual enthusiasm, he saw far beyond the moon rock. He says, if we can find moon rocks on Earth, I bet we have rocks from Mars, Venus, ...
Wow, that's phenomenal.
So that story is, I thought it was in here, but for some reason I couldn't find it the first time through. So Rocks from Space, second edition. This one is still in print and you can get it on Amazon.
That's phenomenal. I love stories like that. It never gets old, even as much moon and Mars as I've held and examined, and not even in my own inventory, but in my friends' collections and their inventory in Tucson and stuff. It never ceases to amaze me. And one thing I love doing when all this COVID crap is over and we can actually get out and do rock shows again, I love having two siblings, and you give the older kid a piece of the moon. And when they find out it's the moon, they go ape crap over it. And then the little kid wants it, and the big kid doesn't want to give it up. So you give the little kid a piece of Mars. Boom! All of a sudden, the tables are turned. So I love doing that. And then every once in a while, I'll give them a small piece. I'll give them a small piece of the moon, and I have it in a really hard case, and I let them stand on it so they can tell everyone at school they stood on the moon. Yeah. Mike Kelly, we are ready to go to you. If you can turn your camera on. There we go.
Yep. How's it going, guys?
Very well, buddy. Good to see you.
You too. See if I can get my sound up a little bit. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay.
Yep.
I had Pat gave a great lead in. So Pat had talked about Haig standing in front of El Chaco, which is a huge mass of Campo de Cilio. So these were two things that I wanted to show off. So one of the things that I go after are the biggest pieces out there. And over the course of a couple weeks, these two popped up. So that's Buca Barito, which is now, although it says 5th largest, it's the 6th largest now, I believe, at 22 tons. And then Mabozi, which is from Tanzania, at 16 metric tons, is also on the top 10 list for world's largest single pieces of iron.
So, those are single pieces that weight?
Yeah, those are little bits off of single large pieces, and obviously, Hoba is the world record holder, which is 3 times as large as Buca Barito.
That is crazy, mind-numbing, man. Yeah, you always have the weirdest, coolest stuff, man.
Nice.
Yeah. When I say you're a micro oddball, I mean it with all the love in the world.
Yeah, I definitely I got a good chuckle out of what you were saying before about Kolang and taking the subgram piece and multiplying it. I'm like, nah.
Yeah. When I was doing the price list for my sale, I mean, my eyes were watering. It was like 3:30 in the morning. I'm doing spreadsheets and everything. And I took a quick look and I'm like, no, that can't be right. I cannot be charging $875 a gram. What the hell am I selling? Then I realized it was a 0.029 rare piece of Mars off the top 60 list. So I was like, okay, when you extend, it's a $20 piece, but you extend it out per gram, that's when you get a $1.8 million rock that doesn't exist. And everyone thinks that, meteorites are money, Does anyone have anything else to share with us today? More news of any kind?
Well,
pieces?
I have a piece of, since we're on the topic of oriented Sikhotes, I thought this piece here that I got. It's a Sikhote I got from Grant Harkness. It's 8.96 grams. The quality is not the greatest, but
Oh.
Yeah.
That has nice shape to it, man.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And it's got a hard lip on from like 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock. It's got a really hard lip.
Yeah, that is a very, very nice Sikhote-Alin, and that's, you know, I knew you guys discussed this earlier, but that shape is the inspiration for the heat shield shape. And the book that I showed earlier, OPIC, talks about ablative cooling, and that technique is what got our Mercury, Gemini, Apollo astronauts back through the atmosphere. It's also how ICBM payloads get back through the atmosphere to where they're going.
in this one, it's the Lunar Tisserlitine 001.
The hydrothermally altered one.
Yes, it's an end cut. Beautiful crust on the
piece.
Yeah, that's 3.82 grams.
End cut. That's nice.
My quality of camera is not the best on this iPad, but
Kevin, can I ask what you have above the piece? That little round, no, the in the frame, in the actual frame, there's a little round thing in there.
ah, that was from Fred McPherson. That's also a piece of lunar as well. I put the lunars together in here.
Okay,
That's
a little feldspathed breccia.
Yeah, half gram.
Nice.
That was from Fred.
Yeah, you don't overlook that, man. That's a hunk of the moon.
Yeah. It's pretty funny how the two Canadians here were both we both live in the same city. So
that's a nice combo right there.
And here's some Martian end cut as well. The little piece at the top there, that's a Nakhlite.
Really?
Hard to focus on here, but a little piece of Nakhlite on the top, and then
Shergottite on the bottom.
Yep, and cut two separate slices out of it.
Well done.
Nice.
Now, Nakhlites are a lot more expensive and a lot more rare than Shergottites.
Yeah, I got that.
Good sized piece of Nakhlite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was from Fabian Kuntz, 0.2 grams.
That's beautiful.
Very tiny, but very beautiful. Thank you for letting me show you.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad you joined us, dude. I'm really honored and happy to have you join us. It's super cool. I love seeing everyone else's collections and how they have them displayed. Hold on a second. There you go. Yeah, so that's really neat, man. I definitely appreciate you chiming in. Yeah, it's an open invitation for anyone watching on YouTube, or even on, if those are on Facebook friends. If you're around the world and you want to send me a video, by all means, I look forward to it. We'll put you on, because I know this time is convenient for us Americans, but maybe not for you guys. But we definitely want, worldwide community. So I'm going to pause for 1 second.
Topher, can you stay behind a second? I got a quick question for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll stay online. But we have run at 2 hours right now. So definitely appreciate everyone hanging online. Great show and tell. Lots of interesting conversations and stories. Some new people. Today was a success. I'm very happy. Thanks, guys. Have a nice night, everyone.
Good evening.
And we'll see you next week.
Night, everyone.
All right. Take care, guys.
Stay healthy.